Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It is Matthew here, and we're back on Depression Quest, the interactive non-fiction about living with depression. Where we left off was that our mother had come over, and it was a surprise visit, and she asked right here, so what's going on with you lately? And if you didn't see part one, you'll want to go and check that out. It's on the channel. So we chose to try to be honest with her anyway, and that's where we left it off. So we're going to pick the same thing. I picked all the same decisions as last time, and we're gonna get more into it now and find out the story of it all and what's going to happen. So let's get started. You attempt to tell your mother how you're feeling, despite initial misgivings that you have about doing so. Finding the right words for how you're feeling feels like trying to untangle Christmas lights, searching for the dead bulb in the cluttered mess. She watches you intently and audibly sighs before you can clearly articulate anything. Unfortunately, she reacts predictably. An attitude like that won't get you anywhere. You need to work harder at getting what you want instead of sitting around feeling sad about it. Nothing good will happen unless you make it happen. She isn't angry or spiteful as she tells you this. You try to explain that it's not a matter of that, but you can tell that you're not getting anywhere. The frustration chokes the words in your throat, and you give up on trying to push the subject further. You know she's giving you the advice that makes sense to her and genuinely wants the best for you. However, she doesn't understand that it's not as simple as somehow deciding to be positive or work harder. It's that those things aren't viable options because of these feelings. You accept your defeat, and the conversation drifts on to the other subjects. She leaves after chiding you to call her more often and take better care of yourself. You sigh heavily as you close the door behind her, spend the next few hours laying in bed, staring at the ceiling. So we still have these outcomes here, that we are very depressed, spend a large amount of time sleeping, hating ourselves, and very little energy and motivation. You're not currently seeing a therapist, and you're not currently taking medication for depression. So guys, beforehand I should have warned you that this game can get very, sensitive, and just take caution when watching this. Because maybe it could trigger some things if you suffer from depression or any kind of mental disorder. So just please take caution when watching this, and if you do feel like you are depressed or suicidal even, there is hotlines to call, and just talk to somebody that cares about you or something. But let's get a move on, and let's go to the next part. It is a lazy Sunday morning. You're idly clicking around online as your phone rings. Sam, a coworker of yours that you're friendly with, asks you how you are and makes hurried small talk with you. You typically only ever talk to him on the phone when one of you needs a shift covered, so it's slightly awkward. You're waiting in anticipation for him to ask you to come in on short notice when he veers the conversation in a completely different direction. How do you feel about cats? He asks. Wow, that's random. Mine had kittens a few weeks ago, and I'm having an awfully hard time finding a home for the last one of the litter. You don't have any pets, right? It takes you a moment to process this new information, and you're caught off guard as he begins to earnestly try to sell you on the idea of taking the last kitten off his hands. It's not something that you had specifically considered before, and he seems fairly insistent. She's a real sweetheart. She really loves people. She's got all her shots already taken care of, and the vet said she's healthy as a horse. I can bring her over by your place tonight if you're interested. You look around your apartment and try to picture a cat in it as he continues to tell you about how cute she is. You tell him that this is all kind of sudden and that you don't have anything for the kitten set up here. Oh, don't worry about that. I can bring over a litter box and food and all of that, since you'd really be helping me out of a fix. It's the least I could do. I just don't want to have to put her in a shelter. You can't help but feel like you're being guilt-tripped, but you decide to give it some serious consideration. It does get awfully lonely around in your apartment, and it might feel less empty with a cat around. However, since you've been feeling so down, it might not be a good idea to take on the responsibility of a cat, even if they are fairly low maintenance. What do you do? Okay, so let's scroll down here. So we can't choose option 1 or 2. I have no idea why, because, maybe that's because of how depressed we are, and number 1, it says take the cat, knowing full well you could take great care of it. How could you know that if you were severely depressed? And 2, decline, even though you'd be totally capable of taking care of it. You're not much of a cat person. So we don't know that either, because being depressed, you don't know if you could, sometimes you can't even shower. I mean, you know what I mean? So, our 3 options are: become a cat owner. You could use the companionship. Decline. You're not in a good enough place to be taking on more responsibility right now. Or 5, decline. You don't like cats. Just straight up, you don't like cats. Okay, I am a cat person. I suffer from depression, and I feel that a cat could be good for our character in this story. So we're gonna grab the cat. We're gonna take it. We could use the companionship. Look at the cat up here in the picture, guys. You accept the offer of the kitten and hang up shortly after making arrangements for when your coworker can drop her off tonight. After hanging up, you worry about if you've suddenly taken on a responsibility that you can't handle, and hope you don't make a small animal suffer for it. You're not entirely sure what to expect, and you spend the rest of the afternoon researching cat care online and trying to think of a name. The evening rolls around and you hear a knock at your door, startling you out of reading Wikipedia entirely too hard. You take possession of a small, terrified black and white kitten in a carrier, along with everything you need to start taking care of her. You take her into your bedroom, close the door, and open the door to the carrier excitedly. She cowers in the back of it, and you back off, feeling slightly defeated. You remember what you researched on introducing a kitten to a new home and leaving her alone to go mess around on your computer, hopefully checking over your shoulder every so often to see if she has come out yet. She hides inside her carrier, periodically making sorrowful cat howls long enough for you to start worrying that she already doesn't like you. But by the time you go to bed, she's curled up at the foot of it, eyeing you nervously before falling asleep. Over the next few days, you gain her trust, and she begins affectionately following you around, sleeping on you and hopping up on you anytime you sit down to do some work. So still none of this has changed down here. I wonder if that will ever change, guys. If it goes by the decisions that we are making, but the cat has gained our trust, and that is good. Okay, so we have a little picture of pizza, it looks like, up here. Looks like Papa John's to me. It's late Friday afternoon, and quitting time is just around the corner. A bright, clear day is giving way to a still, temperate evening. You can hear your coworkers all around you anxiously making plans for their evenings and weekends, but you're really looking forward to just going home and resting after what's turned out to be a very long and taxing work week. Just before the end of your shift, you get a call from Alex. It seems a group of your mutual friends are heading out to a nearby pub for dinner and drinks to celebrate the end of the week, and they want to know if you'd like to come along. You tentatively tell her that you're emotionally exhausted from the work week and a social outing like that will just take too much out of you today. You encourage her to go and have a good time, since you know it's been a while since she's gone out with friends. But the effort feels futile, since you know that she isn't going to go without you. A couple hours later, the two of you find yourselves in a familiar position. On the couch, watching comedy shows on Netflix, a box of pizza open on the coffee table in front of you. As you look across the couch at her, you start to feel anxious. You feel bad about effectively forcing the two of you to stay in tonight again. While you're always appreciative of your partner's efforts to take your feelings into account and help make sure you're socially comfortable, you sincerely worry that you're holding her back from enjoying a more fulfilling relationship. While she does seem to enjoy spending time with you as the two of you sit in comfortable, almost contented silence, watching old shows you've each seen 2 or 3 times before, your ever-increasing fear that your relationship is becoming one-sided weighs more and more heavily on you. You feel more than ever like a burden or a reward to her, and it's virtually impossible for you to see what value you could possibly offer to her in return. Most of all, this nagging fear has made you feel more self-conscious than ever, withdrawing ever inwards, and you've started to pull away even from Alex herself. What do you do? So, doesn't it seem like our choices are getting our options of answers are getting more or less and less, actually. I think I remember that it used to be just one crossed out, and then we have 2 options here, though. We can't do number 1 or 2. We can't tell Alex how important she is to me. We can't tell her, despite the bad times, your girlfriend sincerely loves you. Relationships are a two-way street, and you resolve to always be there for her, like she has been there for you. She has been for you. So we can't do 1 or 2. So we can do ask Alex if she's happy with your relationship, or we can don't say anything. You're already worried about her being upset with you. Oh, this is a hard decision, guys. This is a very hard decision. I think we should not say anything. But what if something good comes from asking if she's happy with the relationship? See, this is where let's ask if she's happy with the relationship. There's the Netflix. Okay, alright. Little picture up there. But you look over at Alex, who hasn't noticed you watching her yet, and you try to parse the expression on her face. You worry that it's one of sheer boredom and bare tolerance. You wonder if she's thinking about all the fun things she could have been doing tonight if she wasn't trapped on this couch with you, ordering from one of the same 3 takeout places that you always order from. A sense of disappointing her creeps over you as you picture what the night could have been if you had just accepted the invitation she had made earlier. I know this is a pretty boring Friday night for you. Are you really happy being with me? Being like this? She turns to look at you, forehead wrinkled. Why do you ask me that so often? You feel her body stiffen and pull away from yours just a little. Well, I mean, you start but aren't able to try and think of how to answer. Okay, so we cannot pick option 1 or 2. Which are, it's probably silly, but it's reassuring when I hear that we're on the same page. I can understand that one. And number 2, I want to make sure I'm right for you. And 3, I know it's not what you'd usually be up to Or 4, I don't know, I guess I get kind of worried that you're getting bored sometimes. Or 5, never mind. This is another tough decision we have to make here. I'm gonna go with number 4. I don't know, I guess I kind of worried that you're getting bored sometimes. Okay, here we go. Alex sighs. Look, if that were the case, I would let you know. I don't think you're boring. You're more of a homebody than I am. I'm learning how to deal with that. Deal with it? You think, repeating it in your mind? Does she see you as a problem to be dealt with? You try to pick her reply apart in your mind, and all of your conclusions lead to your previous worry, that you're holding her back. You begin thinking that the phrasing was chosen without too much deliberation, and that despite her attempts at reassuring you, the slip of the tongue revealed her true feelings. As you picture how much fun she would be having right now if you had only accepted her invitation and managed to somehow get over your reservations and anxieties, despite not knowing how you would go about that, she cuddles back up to you. Thanks for putting up with me, you say, staring at the TV without actually watching it. She sighs in response. Wow. Okay guys, we are going to leave it off here. So I know it's a little bit of a cliffhanger, but we're going to pick it up next time in part number 3. If you enjoyed this, please, well, first off, get help if you're depressed or suicidal or going through anything like that. Definitely talk to someone, call a hotline, but also guys, yeah, I just hope you're enjoying this series, and if you are, just smack that like button for me. Subscribe if you're new to my channel. I would definitely love to have you around. Thank you for watching, guys, and peace out.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face. Tell me that you love me, even if it's fake.